Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at our bi-weekly All In for Kansas Kids webinar. It is July 14th, and my name is Debbie Deer. I'm the Early Childhood Systems Coordinator for the Children's Cabinet, and I'm also here today with Bria Cudney and Hannah McGahey, who are part of the webinar planning team with me as well. So we're happy to have you. And thank you for joining us. We have some good information today. I hope that you will find helpful. We have our general updates as usual, and then our presentation today will be on the 2021 Promise Act, and that will be by Heather Morgan, who is the Executive Director of the Kansas Association of Community College Trustees. So we're glad to have Heather with us today. Moving into our general information. So the Sunflower Summer is an exciting opportunity for all Kansas families to experience over 70 attractions throughout the state at no cost. So this program runs through the summer from now until mid-August, and it's sponsored by the Kansas State Department of Education. And so parents can download this app, and then they can go to that to get free entry into many opportunities throughout Kansas that are fun and exciting for the entire family. So free and fun, who doesn't love that? And I think I'm going to take advantage of that this weekend and take my grandchildren to the zoo. We have the child care tax credit that is starting this week. So July 15th, tomorrow through the end of this year, 2021, most families are eligible to start receiving a monthly payment of $300 per child under the age of 6 and $250 per child ages 6 to 17. And so families should automatically be enrolled in this unless they didn't file their 2020 taxes. And so please share this information out with any families that you work with in your early childhood networks, because this is an amazing financial benefit for families, especially those struggling to come out of this pandemic. And they can go to this link to get information about this benefit. There is also financial benefit available to families through the Pandemic PEBT benefits program. So for families who lost access to their free and reduced priced school meals last year, for at least 5 consecutive days due to their school or childcare being closed, or if there were reduced in-person attendance hours, they are eligible to receive these benefits retroactively for school year 2020-21. So again, please share this information out to any families that you might be in communication with, and they can go to this website listed for more information. The HERO Relief Child Care Assistance Expansion Program is available for any working Kansans if they have, if they make 250% or less of the federal poverty level. And this includes waiving the family share deduction for essential workers, reducing the deduction for all other workers, and also expanding the eligibility period from 6 to 12 months. And so the link provided here will let you see the information needed and view the income and household size chart to see if you're eligible. The emergency broadband benefits program is continuing, and so this is allowing a discount of up to $50 per month for households towards cellular and broadband service. It also is up to $75 a month for qualifying households who might be on tribal lands, and then eligible households can also receive a discount of up to $100 for the purchase of any laptop, desktop computer, or tablet from participating providers. And this is targeted at households who are struggling to stay connected during the technological challenges of the pandemic. And so you can go to this website for more information on how to receive these funds. There is a grant opportunity through the Kansas Children's Cabinet and Trust Fund. They are announcing the request for proposals, or RFP, through their community-based child abuse prevention program, which is known as CBCAP to many of us. And these funds are used for primary and secondary prevention efforts. And so the application will be submitted through the Kansas Common App platform, which is the link here that you can go to. And so please share out this information as well. The Kansas Breastfeeding Conference is happening for 2021 on October 14th and 15th, and then again on the 28th and 29th. This will be a virtual event, and they do have a keynote speaker scheduled. Dr. Taylor Livingston will be speaking on the morning of October 14th. So the registration is free, and all of the details and registration are available at this link provided. And this is very beneficial information for the ongoing efforts of the Kansas Breastfeeding Coalition. The Our Tomorrows update from the Story Bank this week focused on families who are struggling to get back into the office after being home, working from home, especially those with young children. And it also talked about how families are eager to come out of the pandemic, but they're still worried that maybe things are not safe. There are a lot of concerns about mental health for all ages and the need for community support in that area, and that also that many stories are talking about how distance is causing stress between families. And so you can always go to the story bank to leave a story of your own about any situation that you might want to share. And these stories are all confidential and help guide decision makers into making programs and initiatives available for the stories that we hear about. The Ages and Stages training is available through the Kansas Department of Education. It is happening later this month on July 27th and July 29th in the afternoons from 1 to 4. In the Ages and Stages 3, is training for professionals to help identify developmental delays. Sorry, pardon for that delay. And then also the Ages and Stages SE2 is for identifying social or emotional difficulties early. And so once these challenges are detected early, then the services can get to these children and families sooner, benefiting them. So now we are moving on to the presentation part of our webinar today. Again, it is information being presented by Heather Morgan on the 2021 Promise Act. And I am going to let Heather take it over from here. Thank you, Heather.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm Heather Morgan. I'm the Executive Director of the Kansas Association of Community College Trustees. So I work with all 19 community college boards and their presidents to offer education across the state of Kansas. The Kansas Promise Scholarship Act was passed by the Kansas legislature this last session and will be an amazing opportunity for Kansans across the state to take advantage of opportunities to be trained in various subjects across the state. The amount of money that was appropriated to fund Kansas Promise scholarships is $10 million, and that was actually appropriated for the next $10 million for next year and $10 million for the next year. So we're really excited about having some sustained ongoing funding. I'm going to go through sort of the provisions that were in the bill that was passed, and then really be willing to stand for questions at the end about how this might affect the early childhood community, but also people who support the early childhood community as well. So the Kansas Promise Scholarship is a last dollar scholarship. What that means is that it will pay for books, tuition, fees, and any required materials within certain programs of study, of which early childhood education and elementary education are both approved programs. In order to apply for a Kansas Promise Scholarship, the first thing that a student would need to do is apply for the FAFSA, which is the Federal Application for Student Aid. Once they apply for the FAFSA, they would fill out a one-page, well, it's actually about 2 pages, but very general information, Kansas Promise Scholarship form, and list any other scholarships they might be receiving, whether that's from their church or from the Rotary Club or someone who maybe it's an employer sponsorship. All of those scholarships are listed on the Kansas Promise application form. And then as long as a student is studying in early childhood education or elementary education, the financial aid office at the community college or technical colleges and some private colleges are eligible too, but community colleges are the only ones that are offering early childhood education, I believe. What will then happen is that this financial aid office will say to be a full-time student, you could be a full-time student, which would be 12 hours, or you could be a part-time student and only take 6 hours a semester. Your cost of attendance, your tuition fees, books, supplies, all of that will be added together. And anything that you receive on your from the federal government or any scholarships will be taken off. And rather than what would have historically happened in the state is you would have to come up with that extra money out of your pocket to fill the gap or take a student loan. That's where the Kansas Promise Scholarship steps in. This Kansas Promise Scholarship will pay the balance of everything that remains on your account prior to having to take a student loan. So if my 6 hours, I'm going to take 6 hours in early childhood education and it costs $1,000. Say I got $100 from the federal government and $100 from the Rotary Club, then my cost of attendance would have been $800. I would receive a Kansas Promise Scholarship for $800. In exchange for the scholarship, what I have to guarantee is that I will live and work in Kansas for 2 years once I complete my program. So this program is ideally situated for students who, if you're a Kansas resident now, you're going to be a Kansas resident in the future. Again, students can be part-time or full-time. You must have been you must be a Kansas resident. There are 2 ways to qualify from a student perspective. You either graduated from a Kansas high school within the last 12 months, or you're an adult who's 21 years of age and older and have lived in the state of Kansas for the last 3 years. So either one of those situations make you eligible. In addition to the early childhood education and development and elementary education pathway, the other areas of study that are eligible for the Kansas Promise Scholarship are mental and physical health care. So social work would fall under that. So I don't know if we have any social worker students or people who might be interested in studying social work or addictions. That would fall under physical and mental health. Information technology, security, advanced manufacturing and building trades, the early childhood education. And each individual school has one additional program, which was generally technical education in nature, except for Johnson County Community College. Actually, their other program is sign language interpreter, which I know we're using an interpreter today to translate this, I think. So that is their other program. Once students complete the application and receive the Promise Scholarship, they can continue to receive the scholarship for up to 68 credit hours. So essentially, the scholarship allows someone to receive their associate's degree or the first 2 years of college for free at no cost to them because of what the legislature has done. You have 30 months to complete your program of study. So if you're working full-time and just want to take part-time classes, you'll have to plan out if I take 6 hours a semester, do I need to take summer classes? You can receive the scholarship for 30 months. So from the date that you first start your first class, count back 30 months and kind of plan out your degree path. And there are people at each institution that are willing to help students figure out what that looks like for them. The goal of the legislature with this program is sort of twofold. One is it is focused on the most high demand areas in the state of Kansas. The area where we know, and everyone on this call knows, there's a tremendous shortage of workforce, but also wanting to make sure that we have very high quality training and education for early childhood educators and teachers. So that is why they chose the areas that they did. They were very intentional and wanted early childhood and elementary education to be included. You might be wondering, well, what if I want to go on and get more than an associate's degree? What about if I don't want to stop after 2 years? What if I want to get that bachelor's degree so I'm credentialed to work in a center? If the program you're interested in, for example, elementary education, we know we're not going to have a licensed teacher after just 2 years. But if you choose a college that has what we call 2+2 agreement, essentially it's an agreement with a 4-year institution that you can complete your bachelor's degree within 4 years, and it has a dedicated curriculum path. That program that will not end while you're at the 2-year institution, but you will transfer on to a 4-year degree, that is also eligible. We're really excited about that. We've had a lot of students who didn't know they qualified for federal financial aid, who have applied to try to get to a Kansas Promise Scholarship. And they actually find out that they were qualified for 100% Pell Grant, which means they probably actually received more money than it cost to attend the community college. If a student receives a full Pell Grant because they're low income, the cost of the amount they receive from the Pell Grant will exceed cost of attendance. And so they can use those excess funds for childcare, living expenses, those sorts of things. One of the things that we're also trying to make sure that everybody understands is if you work with low income folks, they probably qualify for 100% Pell Grant. And so the first step of the application process for a Kansas Promise Scholarship is to complete the FAFSA. And so encouraging them to do so shows that they have that, the income of the level that the federal government requires to be able to give a grant so that they can go to school essentially without cost to them. One of the questions that we've received is, what about Daca or Dreamer students? And if they complete the FAFSA, they will be rejected for federal financial aid, but they could qualify for the Kansas Promise Scholarship. There is no prohibition on that. So again, it's early childhood certificate program. So it could be a short-term certificate, could be an associate's degree, or it could be that you're getting your associate's degree and you're going to transfer on to a 4-year university. If you do transfer on to a 4-year university to pursue your 4-year degree, the 2-year requirement for living and working in Kansas doesn't start until you're no longer a student. Those are the highlights of the program. The application materials are on the KACCT website. So go to kacct.org, click on the Kansas Promise Scholarship tab, and you'll see in there in bright yellow boxes, the Kansas Promise Scholarship application and the Kansas Promise Scholarship Act student agreement. So once you do the FAFSA, those are the 2 documents that you'll next deal with your the financial aid office at whatever college you choose to enroll. If you scroll down on that page, you'll also see a listing of all of the community colleges in Kansas and their eligible programs. So if you don't know whether the college you'd like to attend has the early childhood or elementary education program you're interested in, click on the college. It'll open up a Word document where it says their eligible programs, and you can see exactly what is eligible at each institution. With that, I'm happy to stand for any questions.
Heather, we have a couple of questions from the chat. One is from Melissa. Does this work for distance learning?
Yes. If the early childhood program has classes online, it would absolutely qualify. The online class would qualify as long as you're on the degree path towards completing that eligible program.
Okay. And we have one from Amber. Outside this presentation, how is the program being promoted in community?
That is a very good question. So this bill passed at the end of May, or was signed into law at the end of May, and now we're at June or July. So we have done a little bit of social media marketing. We actually had about 100,000 views of 3 ads we've been running targeting current students, targeting their parents, but also targeting adults. We honestly have gotten a lot more click-throughs on our adult population, and we also had all 3 of those ads translated to Spanish, and they've been running on social media. We intend to have 4 more ads, one that will be specific to each industry cluster. So we'll have one that is specific to early childhood education and elementary education, along with a video that will be produced by New Boston out of Manhattan. I'm supposed to get it July 19th, and we hope to very quickly after that put that out on social media. So if you're interested in receiving anything like that, you can send me an email, and I can forward out some of those things that are going to be directing people back to the KACCT website for more information. I know all the individual colleges are also trying to promote things on social media, but to be quite honest, this is such a new program. Not many people do know about it, and anything you can do to help us promote it is much appreciated. Could you click on the 1-page document, Hannah? This 1-page flyer is what I would recommend to be used to promote the program. Other than a social media ad, it kind of says the highlights of the program and then direct people back to the website to get connected with their individual college. But this is kind of the highlights of the program. But no, there hasn't been a ton of marketing yet just because it's so new.
Okay, Heather, we have a question that asks, for youth who apply and need assistance completing a FAFSA, how do you navigate this?
So 2 options. If it's a youth who needs help with the FAFSA, they obviously could ask their high school counselor or the financial aid office where they're applying. Actually, yesterday, the federal government changed a few of the rules related to the FAFSA in terms of how much documentation they may ask for after the fact. So getting connected with either the local high school counselor or the community college where they're wishing to attend would probably be the best bet for FAFSA help at this point. The other option might be somebody who has had students, a number of students complete the FAFSA, maybe a peer-to-peer help from another parent who has college-going students who might have gone through the process previously. Just the FAFSA will change. I believe it's in 2023 to be much simpler. It is a complicated process, but if the students' parents have filled out their tax properly, the actual application for the FAFSA can pull in the tax returns, which it couldn't previously do that. So that would be my suggestion on where to get help for the FAFSA.
Okay, thank you. So from Melissa, we have, so this funding wouldn't cover prereqs, or am I misunderstanding just the education classes?
So Melissa, good question. So, and you might need to clarify this a little bit. So for example, if I'm getting an associate's degree in elementary education, because we don't really have an associate's degree in elementary education, we have associate's degree. But if I'm on a 2+2 path, this Kansas Promise Scholarship will cover Comp 1. It will cover college algebra. What it would not cover is if you needed intermediate algebra because you needed some math help, and intermediate algebra is not on that degree plan. It would not cover intermediate algebra, but it will cover the non-education related general education classes as long as it's on the program path for the certificate or the degree. So the only thing that it would not cover are remedial classes, which are not on your degree path, or prerequisite classes that you might have to take in order to be eligible to take that education class. We don't run into that nearly as much as we might in a healthcare field, but the remedial issue can be tricky. I will say this: if you're concerned about needing remediation in math, a number of our schools have gone to what we call co-requisite remediation, which means instead of a 3-hour college algebra class, you take a 5-hour class, and we call it college algebra with review. It essentially means you get a little bit more help. And that is considered a co-requisite class, and that is eligible because you're just taking college algebra. It's just 5 hours instead of 3. And a lot of institutions are going that way. But all the classes in the degree path, whether they're education related or not, if they are needed for the associate's degree, the 2+2, or the associate's or the certificate in early childhood education, all the classes would be able to be paid for.
Thank you, Heather. Is there anyone else? So just a second. Hannah, did you want to ask your question?
Yeah, so just if the school that they go to has that 5 credit hour co-requisite, or where they do like a little bit of a refresher and then do the algebra, would that whole 5 credits be covered by Promise Act, or would they have to do some finagling?
The whole 5 hours would be qualified if it's co-requisite.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
You're seeing the complexity of lifting this program quickly.
Joanne has a question. Can you share all of the degrees that this would cover again?
Yes, so it is the four, let me start with this. The 4 general areas that it covers is advanced manufacturing and building trades, information technology and security, early childhood education and development, and physical and mental health care. That under each of those broad subject areas, there are both certificates, so short term, and associate's degrees, which would be the longest, which would be 2 years. Each individual institution has eligible programs that fall within those subject areas. So if you're interested in a specific college, I would recommend clicking on the college on the website, and their eligible programs, and they'll pop up. Generally, I will say elementary education, early childhood education certificates are definitely covered. Nursing, CNA, CMA, social work, all the traditional healthcare fields, respiratory therapy, occupational therapy, PT therapy, all of those things, computer information systems, cybersecurity, all of that kind of stuff under IT. And under advanced manufacturing and building trades, that's things like carpentry, plumbing, electrical, some pre-engineering things. So really just kind of click around on the colleges to see what your college might offer.
Okay, we have, well, and just to add to that, Heather, Bria shared those eligible areas of study in the chat, as well as Hannah highlighted them on this 1-page document that we have showing on the screen right now. A question, what were they calling the 5-hour co-requisite algebra class?
Like college algebra with review. They call it something different at each institution. So the institution will tell you if you score for remedial, because if you don't score through, we use what we call multiple measures. So they might make you take a placement test. They may just look at your GPA. It kind of depends. But if you're just not comfortable with math, we also offer tutoring. So that you would only have to take the 3-hour class, but you could get some tutoring on the side for free through the college to get some help. But we call it co-requisite remediation. And as long as you're taking the actual course with help, or it will be paid for.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, next question if you're ready.
Yep.
Okay, are the colleges limited to a certain portion of the $10 million?
Okay, good question. Very complicated question. Sort of is the answer. Right now, every institution was given an initial allocation. I don't think it'll be done quite this way probably next year, but every school has a certain amount of money they can award. They got their award number last week. If they exceed the amount that they were initially given, they can ask for more. We've only sent out 1/3 of the money. So far, the initial allocation was only 1/3 of the $10 million. So if somebody goes over their allocation and has a lot more need, we still have the flexibility for them to request more funds. And if they're available, they can get them from the pool that has yet to be awarded.
Okay. From Angela, what if someone already has a bachelor degree? Could they apply to get a master's degree?
This scholarship does not cover for anything above an associate's degree. However, if someone had a bachelor's degree in art education, let's say they're in art secondary education and they decided they didn't want to stay in art secondary education, maybe they wanted to go back and get an early childhood certificate. There is nothing prohibiting someone with a bachelor's degree to go back and get a certificate or an associate's degree in a different field.
Okay, thank you. I think I've covered all of the chat questions, unless I'm missing something. Bria or Hannah, let me know. Is there anyone else listening that might have a question for Heather?
Hey, Debbie,
Have
this is
you-
Amber Sellers.
Yeah. Hi,
Sorry.
Amber.
Hey, just real quick. And this is just to make sure that both websites are covering the same information. Because Heather, I noticed that, was it the Board of Regents has, am I looking at this right? Yeah, so the Board of Regents, they have their page that has the scholarship information and information sheet. I just want to make sure that the information that's on that page and the information's on the link that you shared is the exact same information and there's no deviation between the two. Can you confirm that?
Well, I would like to say I could confirm it. It should be generally the same. I will tell you that all of this stuff just got finalized actually on the 7th of July. So what is on the KCCT website is what has been approved by the Board of Regents for the programs. The application that the community colleges are using, we have permission from the Board of Regents. There's a supplemental page. So the application may not be the same. All of the community colleges are using the application, which is on the KCCT website that has a supplemental page attached. The student agreement is exactly the same. The KACCT website has just some additional forms that the colleges will be using with students, but generally what the law says is not different between the two websites, but the forms may vary slightly.
And I completely understand that, but I think, and this is, take it with a grain of salt, but if we could try to uniform, because I mean, just in presentation and everything looks different compared to what you've shared and what the Board of Regents is sharing, and that could throw families off. They could think that it's something different, that they're applying for something that they may not apply, may not qualify for. So some uniformity between what you have and what the Board of Regents have, whether it's shared understanding or shared, I just, it's little things like this that are kind of troublesome and can be problematic for families, understanding whether or not they have the correct information. So I don't know if this is something that needs to be articulated between you and the Board of Regents, or just something that shows there's a little bit more cohesion, and so that families aren't confused about whether or not they have the right information. So simplicity
totally
as much
agree.
as possible.
Totally agree. And we'd like the branding to get cohesive too, to your point about this is the same thing. If we could get the brand out everywhere so everyone knows.
It's early in the process, so it's not too late.
Yep, totally agree.
Thank you, Amber. We have another question here from Joanne. If someone wants to do the mental health associates, is this okay to receive a position? I know someone who works at Job Corp with students, and I would like to send this to them.
I didn't understand the question.
Joanne, if you're
Sorry, yeah,
yeah, okay. Are
sorry.
you here?
Yeah. I know someone who works at Job Corps, and they work with students to get them through high school and then move on to whatever they're going to do. They also have like the building trades and some other opportunities for them to do while they're in Job Corps. But once they come out of Job Corps, if they need to go on or they need to figure out what they want to do, and maybe it's the mental health one, or maybe it's ECE, or maybe it's one of the other ones, would they be able to, if someone was to do the mental health one and just do the part that covers for the associates through the scholarship, would their capability of getting a position in that field work, or would they need to go on and get that bachelor's to be able to get a position, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I do, only because I have some child welfare background.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So what I would say is, obviously, a position is going to say if it's a bachelor's level position or an associate's degree position or not. But what we would encourage students to do is say, get your associate's degree, get that maybe attendant care position, the position that's the non-bachelor's degree position at the mental health center or with the child welfare provider. And then while you're working, using your associate's degree, maybe your employer can help you continue under your bachelor's degree, or you can go forward like that. or you could, then they would still theoretically qualify for Pell Grant if they wanted just to get their associate's degree and automatically go on and get their master's degree. So this program isn't changing what the requirements are going to be for any job, but there are definitely jobs within the different fields that they could get employment and the employment's pretty high demand in some of those lower areas. And then they could have no student loan debt while they figure out their next step towards that bachelor's degree job they seek.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna send this on to her so that way she can look at it and share with her boss and kind of go from there. So, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, Stacy is asking, can high school students access the scholarship during high school to pay for dual credit classes?
Good question. The answer to that is no. The Excel in CTE program, also known as Senate Bill 155, will currently pay for the technical education classes of students while they're in high school. The dual credit or concurrent credit classes, which might be that Comp 1 or college algebra, they are not qualified by they are not eligible for the scholarship. However, there was a different law that was passed last session that allows K-12 school districts to pay for dual or concurrent tuition for their students. It's at their discretion. So if you're working with a student who is really high need, who is very bright and can handle dual and concurrent classes, I would encourage people to talk with their principal and their counselor, because the law was just changed this session to allow K-12 to pay for that if the student, has no other means.
Okay, is there anyone else on here today that has any additional questions for Heather? I'm not seeing any more in the chat. Oh, okay, here's a new one from Haley. I might have missed this, but are individuals who receive a GED in that gap between 18 and 21 years of age still eligible?
Okay, that's a very good question. So homeschoolers are eligible, as are people who attain a GED, all eligible. So within 12 months of completion of their GED, they would be eligible regardless of their age. If a student received, there is a gap, a potential gap. If a student graduated and took a gap year, they may fall into that 19 or 20-year-old category and be outside of graduated within the last 12 months. The reason the gap is there is a policy choice that the legislature made to discourage students taking a gap year. But there is a gap. But if the student got their GED, let's say they were 19, and they would have obviously be not, the typical age of a high school student, it's within 12 months of completion of that GED, they would be eligible.
Okay. Well, if there are no further questions, we just want to say thank you, Heather, because this is amazing. I think there's a lot of us on here who are older that really wish that we could have gotten in on something like this, but it's a super opportunity for students. And we're very excited, as most of us listening in are early childhood educators or work in that system. We know our workforce is always in need of qualified individuals. And so this is such a great opportunity for them to take advantage of this. And for us, as you asked, to please share this out and to get the word out and notify everyone that we possibly can that this is here and it's available. And, it's a opportunity that doesn't come around very often. So thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if there are other groups that you are part of that would benefit from this presentation, I'm happy to do another one for another group. So thank you so much.
Great.
Okay, so
Yes.
If I got this information to Job Corps here in Manhattan and they were really interested in this, you could do a presentation for them so they could understand all the steps.
Absolutely.
Okay. I definitely might send your information along, Heather.
Great. And I will be presenting at the statewide Career and Technical Education Conference, which a lot of K-12 and higher education folks attend in Manhattan in a couple of weeks. So yeah, we're trying to get the word out and do presentations across the state. All of our colleges are trying to do the same thing to get the word out about this amazing opportunity.
Can you post your email?
And can you
contact-
post my email? I'm on a phone, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think, and you're gonna be here in Manhattan when? Sorry, Hannah.
Oh, no, you're good.
The statewide CTE conference will be the 26th in Manhattan. So there'll be a presentation to all of K-12 and higher education CTE professionals then in Manhattan. So
Okay.
There's Sabria saving the day.
thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
wonder-
whoever helped me.
I wonder if, I mean, it's for K-12 and higher, but I wonder if Job Corps employees could attend that conference.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to connect with them after the fact because their population is
Okay.
definitely one that is underserved that we want to make sure knows about the opportunity.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna get your information and I'm going to send it on. Thank you very much, Morgan. This is great.
You're welcome.
Heather, we do have another question from Beth. What about residents who are not US citizens? Can they qualify for the scholarship?
Question.
If they complete the FAFSA, and that what will happen is they will be rejected from the FAFSA, then they would complete the application. There's no prohibition about they then would qualify. If they complete the FAFSA, they're going to get rejected, then they could go forward. They should go through the application steps because there's no automatic prohibition.
Boy, this is a long time coming. This is so awesome. Wow.
It was 2 years of legislative work, that's for sure.
Well, we're definitely appreciative of this opportunity and also of you, Heather, for sharing all of this information and answering this multitude of questions and without hesitation and having all of this knowledge to share. So again, we stress to everyone listening in to please share this out or get with Heather. Bria did put her contact information in the chat so that she can, I guess, try to be everywhere at once and spread the word on this.
Zoom is good, so.
Yes, yes, it is. So
Thank you
if,
so much.
oh, thanks, Heather. So as usual, after our program, we just have a few reminders to tell everyone about on meetings that are upcoming. The Early Childhood Recommendations Panel meeting will take place this Friday morning from 9 to 11:30. You can view it on YouTube through the Cabinet's website. That meeting is always on the third Friday of every month in the mornings. Our next biweekly webinar is scheduled for Wednesday, July 28th. And please always let us know if you have topics that you're interested in hearing about, or if you have information to share, as Heather just did in our webinars or weekly emails. The Cabinet and stakeholder group meetings are scheduled for August 6th. And we always welcome you to share feedback through this link on the Kansas Children's Cabinet website, giving us your thoughts and comments on the work that's happening and the information that you're receiving. So that concludes our webinar for today. We're giving you a few extra minutes back in your day since we're getting done a little bit early. My closing thoughts are for you. While we try to teach our children about life, our children teach us what life is all about. How true, very, very true is that. So we thank everyone for spending your noon hour with us, and we're always excited to have you here, and we have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
You too.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.